opportunity for pray quick. Yeah. Amen. We still get one person where we dey wait. But before that person come, I want to take this special opportunity for tell Rise Radio, Tumac, and the Pan African Student Voices. Plenty thank you. Reason being, sometimes the way good happen, let we appreciate them. These three radio, they call me, give me the opportunity for talk to the platform. And it was very key how we manage for sustain the MCC. I know say if they be kick we out of the MCC, if we don't get beaucoup headlines. Salon where you see you don't hear any news, a bad news they want give you. Good news, nobody know the publisher. They send out of 18 countries out of the MCC. But I still eating some. We don't try. That is a performance indicator of President Mayo in good governance. So, then three radio stations and they call me for them to discuss how we manage for Noah. Even though Donald Trump said they put money at USA and they withdraw funding from XYZ, he cancelled a lot of MCC for other countries. But Salon, because we don't show commitment to good governance, implementation of the tripartite recommendations, they still sustaining. Kudos to the president, the opposition, and everybody, because our call this not one person. If they spend $480 million on light business as alone, as such a God, we all will manage. Eh? The people will very easy sustain SLP for a market. Today, we usual Tuesday, every Tuesday press conference. I can always remind we with a give opportunity to we people for no trending issues. Now wuna na the conduit, now wuna na the platform, the amplifiers. Waiting government they do, now only wuna will take to the people. So one improve, one expand the space for them correct information reach the people. So I make every Tuesday we hold this press conference and we need jump at crew, bring prominent speakers for them to address training issues. So there is another Tuesday. We don't see at the high table prominent personalities that salon. For can talk on as you see someone invest, you know what they can talk about. Because the apprehension. But we can still introduce the panel. Now all know whether they're there and why they're there. For today, that is table. We're going to talk on very many things. Key Because Bokutin we don't happen, we pertain to unity and cohesion. Where the president put premium on with cohesion, with national identity, the peace. When they say Sierra Leone are the most peaceful, because we they make affirmative actions together. The president they carry we all for let we do the things then where they make Salon sustain peace. So for today, we get an update on the implementation of the unit agreement recommendations. We know say after 2023 elections, a lot of things they did. But the president say no development not go able to take place, meaningful one, if the country not get peace and cohesion. So it be agree for Sidon for them which will be national cohesion. So they will create more units for superintendent that aspect. From that wing, we will get the deputy executive secretary for the Independent Commission for Police National Cohesion, Mr. Moses Magao. For them, he give me an update on agreement where they decide how far any recommendations who's that day. Those are the part I talk and do. So now see if any things that we say, how far we carry on. And out of that agreement, we begin to call the tripartite agreement. The tripartite secretariat steering committee. Then you ensure that all the things that also we do for reform the electoral system within one. So when you get the national consultation, we will not get a nationwide consultation on the new electoral system. We want to know from the secretariat, which is the meaning of that, and which I will do. So we get the coordinator of the tripartite steering committee secretariat, Mr. Golu Kata, for take we through. You see how we go? The peace agreement, a little some side. And we get somebody for giving an update on how far we did. Gender issues are very key to this administration. We get and we missed ever faithful, ever ready, ever responsive, honorable Mariama Munia Zulu. Anytime female representation, the will of parliament for can talk one name and the cross. If it gets a tight schedule, they say that same time, when I get on a program, I get interview. If it's an interview, say, well, I'm still not there, I can talk to the people. These are the kind of representation we create for. People don't say they get commitment to the people, for can talk to the people. So we get the honorable member of parliament. When they talk about two systems, when it is our constitution, when our first and PR system. So from a gender perspective, which one will give more female representation in parliament? He will take control. Then, the colleague, a senior minister, a former ambassador, HE Ambassador Tambanamina, the Minister of Local Government and Community Affairs. We don't even talk about redistricting, which it mean and which are the benefits. Colonial days, I had with one the all right. Yeah, I mean with one better. But for let them able administer, we get 5 districts for let them able stretch their hand. With time, we don't evolve the district anymore. Waiting it mean for level they divide the country to communities, administrative communities. Already, Honorable Minister for Secretary, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. These are the key things we will talk today. But before we go, Maggie, the update of news. What happened over the weekend? What are the concerns? We all the witness or we hearing the news when they elect with president, His Excellency, the retired brigadier, for head in colleagues and ECOWAS for leadership for ECOWAS. It go with a lot of responsibilities, especially when ECOWAS is challenged at this moment. We don't see inside few countries don't opt out of ECOWAS. They say they're not about ECOWAS. And during that period, they appoint the head of young president for head. So they don't take the first bold step for go around and talk to their colleagues about regional peace and cohesion. So we see a high level delegation left Salome with the president, then go Gambia, then go Guinea-Bissau, then go Senegal, Cape Verde, but then the president will engage in colleagues because society begins at home. And when they give you responsibility, leadership goes with a lot of responsibility. So if it's careful day, if you're able the assignment, you don't take the first step. But go meet and talk to the colleagues about peace and unity. We also don't see in news, we don't see whose side people them will be all as political prisoners. They don't grant them freedom. When they make the unity agreements, the provision, they say they get people in prison, where it go one, let the government release, governments look each one, effect the needs, awareness, a lot of things. If young crime, not just political crime, we don't see whose side, in honor of the agreement, presidents don't grant punitive. That's not a wish for God. If you want to live, because of the word talk and do, and for sure commitment, you don't free people well within a prison because of political issues. We also see we minister the dynamic Eleanor Abneba lead a team in America on a dialogue reclaiming historical narrative at a global youth assembly in the United States. We minister signed a lot of MOUs. You know, any talk minister comes, you go, the more science, one MOU, where they bring small pictures out. Not to say happy deal. And when you go, you can't explain our conference. We know the either. We also have America with a lot of other young people. One part, the people who they negotiate, His Excellency Dr. Timothy Sam, Israel, and then go at this conference. I mean, global engagement, for, I mean, this dialogue. On the 14th of August, They say government of Sierra Leone invest 1.7 million as primary financial in import response. When I say they don't sustain MCC, one of the commitments of MCC now for invest money by people. So if somebody get for help you, they say whether they throw water itself, draw it back. So government invest 1.7 million for import response. This shows our preparedness for any outbreak. So we're ready and we spend this money for people for ensure that if you see some mpox figure they drop small, and because we not just rely on donor, we self they put money there. Because some of the donor requirement are counterpart funding. OG, IBAC. So the minister brief people on waiting on the commitments. On the 14th of August, the Minister of Environment and Climate Change also concluded a one-day stakeholder consultation on the formulation of a climate legislation for Sierra Leone. Most of the school they make start with engagement consultation. And some of the challenges when the world face are environmental challenges, the human disturbance of the natural ecosystem, the ecosystem. So Salon, they try to train the rest of the world for get some legislations on how we interact with the environment. So they say the minister within the eastern region for engage stakeholders for them look at how we will able to limit waiting for able to do. Because sometimes you want to act, but if you know that any law supported by our constitution for them to act, you know they able. But you don't just make any law anyhow. The president and cabinet will always reinforce that anything now what they do is start with consultation, driven legislations. So that is just what the minister did for engage. Only draft in Freetown, Sierra Leone was once again placed at the global stage of military excellence as Officer Cadet Umaru Machara of the Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces successfully graduated from the prestigious. In fact, this is not strange. Even the leadership, police when they go Somalia, with Sudan when they go peacekeeping, always done by exceptional leadership. I want to believe in wisdom. No stage. We don't show say we able to provide leadership and we get strong character Sierra we will represent this country. So they say one of the officers graduated from one senior prestigious military academy. This seat, the main purpose of this gathering, as I may not introduce, we get these key things for talking about. One, the unit agreement, where the ruling essence to be signal with the main opposition for sign. Who side will pay for that? Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have this the deputy executive secretary for taking to Mr. Mr. Tadeva Eposmose, deputy minister of others, Moses Maga for taking.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Me Fambule Muna, good afternoon. Of course, bring una greetings from the board and the executive secretary, Madam Hawa Saleh Samai. Say hello, plenty I will do. Of course, I bring a very good message for Una before I digress into updates of the unity agreement. Of course, most recently, we will pull a press release. The state about we performance na the Global Peace Index. The Global Peace Index na a ranking way they can do every year annually for rate how peaceful each and every country they na the world. Out of 163 countries, Sierra Leone was rated 57 in the world as one of the most peaceful countries in the world. In Africa, we are number 5 as the most peaceful country in Africa. In West Africa, we are number 2, second. Banjul, the Gambia, first. And in our sub-region, MRU, that is the Mano River Union, we are number 1. Are we not peaceful? This not to Salomon do that ranking day. Now with man then do am. Because if na Salomon do am, out of prejudice, we will say this na like business. We self me self when a deputy executive secretary for the peace commission, and not even sabi would do that ranking day. But it is the global peace index. And another do am because of the one for do. There are a lot of indicators set whether they watch the indicators them, then they measure them, then they give results out. I think so for the celebrate good news. Not so? Of course, stricto sensu, we they come to the update on the unity agreement. We all know say we have 8 agreements. And this agreement here, the government of Sierra Leone, not to SLPP, the government of Sierra Leone, thought and fit say, then go only move development from point A to point B if only they get a unity agreement. And this agreement will start when? The 16th to the 18th October 2023, after the 2023 general elections. We all be see there are a lot of rifts, a lot of conflicts will be they happen, unrest will they happen at this country. So the Independent Commission for Peace and National Cohesion, together with host of international organizations like the ECOWAS, African Union, and UN, United Nations, UNOWAS, UN Women, we all come together and say, no, we need forget a national conversation. We need forget an agreement. So in this agreement, what's they be agreed on the 16th to the 18th we then sign, the first agreement was what? The president for do a clarion call. Now agree, say now this the president for do. If for speak to the people of the country. Because they say the president and man we know they talk, you know the great talk, you know the great talk. From where this election happened, you know the talk. So party A and party B they come together and say, President, you need for talk to you people them. So we, the Independent Commission for Peace and National Cohesion, we hold that agreement there and we get to tracker where this happen with the correct time. So the president they make a clear call. He talk about voting. He talk about peace. He talk about promoting peace. He talk about promoting unity. He talk about promoting inclusion. We mark a meander. We say, okay, this one we party A and party B and the international organizations that we agree on, you've made a clarion call. And we all, when a journalist, then we all see that he made that clarion call for which he called on all Sierra Leoneans, them let them deviate from violence and promote peace and national cohesion from Mama Salone Better one. The second one he said the All People's Congress will end its non-political participation in governance. We all be know say one great government or one great party not go rule this country in parliament. So we'll be see the APC party when are the main opposition party not be going to parliament, they be sit down home and say we they left the country give them. But as a commission and international moral guarantors, then thought of it say, no, this is not good for this country. Otherwise, we will relegate the country to a one-party system, which of course that is not what we want to see. So what do? We ensure say we follow up with the All People's Congress, then stakeholders, because they're also back na key listeners them. And one thing I go always say kudos to them, the Peace Commission now be one of the most institution where the main opposition party be they listen to for talk to them. We did a lot of backstage engagement. We talked to them for let them see peace instead of violence. So they resonate with what we tell them, and we all see the APC members of parliament then go back na parliament for good discourse, but Mama Salon and better one. Not also, we for correct I hand back. The third one, we come with a lot of lacunas, a lot of problems. The third one say, His Excellency the President, in consultation with the All People's Congress, will constitute a cross-party committee on electoral systems. To summarize it, you know, say where the June 2023 elections be happen, some man be say, we not agree, therefore post voting, voters register, therefore recount. This one say in order na the laws, this one say it in the laws. So yanda the Peace Commission together with the international partners, ECOWAS, UN, UNOWAS, African Union, then thought of it say the key problem to we electoral system is that we need for overhauling. Overhauling in a sense, we need for give a thorough review to the whole electoral architecture in this country. So as a matter of fact, the implementation status was that with consultation from donor partners like the European Union coming, they hired a consultant, that is IFES. If una go na Google, una read about IFES. This na people them where they did for electoral reviews. One of the most reviewed and where they don't do na the world, na the one where they do for Liberia. They review the whole electoral system and put them to an ideal type. We no go count with Sonko. So as a matter of fact, they don't review with electoral system together with national institution, because you know go do that day, you go take strangers and for can review your system, which of course we have a national system. It's a blow on our side. So the national system now be the public sector reforms unit. They join IFES, meet with ECSL, all and documents the way they get the act or whatsoever, they review them. They review them, and again, as he say, they don't present the reports to the president, most recently. Then the commission will go ahead for tick and say, they don't do one. In terms of recruitment, staff policy, then they try for put in place. Because we be the say during the past elections, they say voting the happen yonder. Ballot box for good, no crown good it. Voting not the start something then 1 o'clock. So now all of them gaps they are make them say let them review the one whole electoral system. We go situate them to an ID type for 2028. They don't do one. The Peace Commission, we just did for Tina the end and say, when I be don't sign to this, so when I be agree, say when I do this, so when I need for do one. So they definitely have to tick the box by implementing it. The fourth one, now the release of persons arrested, detained, or imprisoned for alleged elections and civil protests. Then the just now, the honorable minister just talked about that. Of course, the Independent Commission for Peace and National Cohesion, we also engage the Attorney General and Minister of Justice for ensure say they stick to this agreement together with the All People's Congress. I want to say kudos to the Attorney General and Minister of Justice. Of course, he also consults with his team, in technical team, and again, he consults with the All People's Congress for several months. They be done they provide the All People's Congress, be done they provide list of people that we then consider for be detainees of alleged political crimes. Of course, a technical work that they do. No, not just go for camp. They say, okay, Jack and Jill, now they be involved here, now they can pull them. They get for know the dichotomies, whether na political crime it do or na a civil crime. So at the end of it all, last week we already say they don't release 36 people where they alleged say they were political prisoners as alleged. Not so. Do we need to tick the box? We need for tick the box yonder. Yeah. So the Peace Commission tick the box say yes, it has been implemented. Anyone will left there will go follow up again. Yes, sir. So let me just summarize again. Um, there is this one. Um, both parties agreed to have both. This now resolution four. Both parties agreed to institutionalization of inter-party dialogue framework between the APC, SLPP, and other political parties. This not to the Peace Commission, the implementer. Now, Political Parties Regulation Commission. Now, PPRC, the implementer. Then be say therefore get a unified, a well-defined framework where they bring together all political parties, where they bring together APA, yeah, for let them get a roadmap as to how they implement, then work them going further. Then get 5 engagements. The one where they hold now be the 18th of October 2023. The other one we then get now the 21st December 2023. Then the second interparty dialogue we then get now the 13th June 2024. We are then also signed to the framework, the agreement that na so we get for they do going forward. That in the own be they see political parties way PPRC they call it. We know they go there, we know they agree, we know they go. No, now then get a roadmap, they get a Bible. Really, the PPRC don't stop here now. According to them, they are constrained with one or two internal controls. But however, then will proceed from yonder and again they will continue for updates the Peace Commission going forward. The other update them I will give you later as we they go by. And I thank you very much for listening to me.
Very much, Mr. Magao, for the Peace Commission. Uh, like, Mr. Mark, I want to just prepare with you for the vision. It is translated to how. Instead of saying you are influential, if you don't want to go that police, so we can engage. We want to salon against. Not one consider, no, we don't want it. I don't want to rule in chaos. I want peace. You don't have anything to do. So when you say there's any sport to talk, when the president is because no talk, agreements is let in church again. Because they don't say when you keep quiet for long, a problem. So they say it's talk, let's move on. He also encouraged APC to go back to parliament, let the government council, because we want strengthening with democracy. And they did. We don't release prisoners. There will start arrangement, the tripartite arrangement. For them will look at our electoral systems and see how we can fit for purpose. That Maui election been done from 1996 when we begin partake. Okay, as one say in agree. We can 2007, 477 polling stations unconstitutionally cancelled, which was not good. We can 2012. Why people can be collate? Somebody didn't read the results. They say when I go police, they are not satisfied. 2023, 2018, APC Supreme Team elections. The presidential candidate for APC, someone come and say, so we have all not been happy with our elections. What the president said, 2023 me, if I saw what I say, it's not in charge, method negotiates. I'm on the three-side agreement with a tripartite arrangement. 80 recommendations. A lot of people, like when Mr. Magos said, the tripartite arrangement, a lot of people talk a lot of things about that. take the recommendations. Let somebody not just dey tell you like this money already president is spending for human capacity development. Now for let self let us not just take you for granted. When somebody thinks something, say no, not too soon. So the recommendations, tripartite, me, you, and moral guarantors, as you know, they arrange how for reform electoral systems. So that when election done, go back to work. As I say, I'm not being aware of as people have done. We must face always get complaint. Now we are not ready, I'm not don't give me push time, make it push as President said, let we all ready together. So in that way, arrangement ready to tripartite. So one of those arrangements in the tripartite was to look at which electoral system we want. Lining and constitution. And we don't implement the two interchangeably. Once as a country, we need to now look at country we want to so that we put a secretariat, and that secretariat will supposed to get a nationwide consultation on which kind of electoral system we as a nation want going forward after all these reforms, which system between first past the post and PR system, or a hybrid of the two. Takes one higher, takes one mix around, so that we get the best way to meet international standard and fit for context. On that note, we get somebody from a steering committee. Can let me take you how far nationwide consultation on this system is that we look at them behind the space. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Joe. So the way the moderation
Don't give the intro to this. The recommendation we talk about now, recommendation 78. And recommendation 78, they talk about a national dialogue for look at the two electoral systems we will be done they use in Sierra Leone. First pass the post system and the district proportional representation system. But the recommendation continue for talk say any of them system they are we adopt we for ensure say a create room for the Gender Equality and Empowerment Act GEWE for ensure say 30% quota day for women them. But you also say enough for also forget say other vulnerable groups and they including young people and persons with disability. And then when I said the young conversation, we don't the way come up from the Truth and Reconciliation Commission report. So it say anytime when election they come, the Electoral Commission for develop a regulation. We go speak clearly as to how that quota system they go be developed for affect then set of we population a day. So for make we able to do this, the secretariat and the Ministry of Justice and the Attorney General office be meet and then do concept and we set up a system for move that process forward and we able to get funding from one of the partners, International Idea, when the European Union be they fund them, and also the government of Sierra Leone. So for able to do that, we will set the process in three ways. One, we say we for hold a set of technical sessions then. And then sessions then they will be closed door sessions. Because then set of people and the way they talk they now people and we will also want for ensure say they feel free and open for talk. So we've been set down there. The second one we say we will hold a series of regional consultations. And finally, the third one
With all them two sessions and we will bring together the report of the two sessions and then we will hold what we call a national dialogue conference. Now that they will do. So we'll begin with the Electoral Commission and all other governance institutions, them, including the security sector. We then serve then frontline actors on the electoral process. So then come inside one room, they all sit down, and we'll get one whole day conversation, and we'll push the process forward. But before we're able to really do this very well, we realize, say, we not going to play, and we also want for referee this. So we bring a set of professionals for make them help for facilitate this process here. So, for example, we bring Sierra Leoneans, two prominent Sierra Leoneans, we don't deal within the democracy and good governance space. One woman, one man, when are professionals in that work, they come, then help for facilitate this process. Mr. Joe Pemagui and Madame Valera Edwin, I'll call her name there. But we also bring for make them much more um, open in a way. We also bring an international consultant come from Nigeria, we served on the electoral management processes for a very long period of time. So then three, and then come and facilitate this process. So we start out with all them consultation them. We begin with the electoral management body them and security. After that, we hold one with interreligious council. After that, we hold one with the political parties, all registered political parties. After that, we finally do one now what we call um, expert engagements. And now one day I've been live. We'll bring very close to 100 Sierra Leoneans of all walks of life, then sit down, then listen to two professionals, one international, one local. They speak about the two systems, and they will get four discussants, people that we don't approach the system from a different perspective, and then self-talk bottom, and then we all ask questions, and you open our mind for that we begin think about them. Then we move, we go upline. We hold a consultation na Putloko for northwest. We hold one na northeast na Makeni. We hold one na Bo for south. We hold another one na east for na Kenema for the east. And each time where they go, they bring all the other districts and come. Each of them consultations and they about 200 people attend each of them. Which I mean all walks of life. Maybe we nobody professionals come back now with all the consultants that are being to Twitter. 500 Sierra they call from Twitter where we are not talking Western area. So we hold a consultation about Salon. So we'll bring 200 people like that. If you do consultations there, we ensure say like bipartisan action in the Ogun, either the mayor, the resident minister, in almost all of them. If the resident minister talk over. And now what's look ready, the resident minister, or prominent man from its executive, the come the son high poetry and the make statements about the opening of the process, from they are resolved on where he wanted to go. So even because of the opening, not even need to find what's in the feel. The fact that then a woman that they level for the first time doing what's known to the rural districts maybe for bringing car and as woman and five from the ruling party, six from the opposition, and as a result of that, they work together, cooperate together for addressing issues of young of women. So you imagine what's in the so we do a synopsis of all around and we bring a camera at the national level. And then we get that conversation open. Because of that, immensely, after all what you don't happen from that national level again, assassination now, a final report they almost come out. When the final report comes, we will not review 1, 2, 10, where all the actors, including the donor, the final report. So me as coordinator, the Minister of Justice and Attorney General will present her to the steering committee, who sign a bipartisan steering committee of two parties, government officials, mayors, paramount chiefs, civil society, and other official institutions that are there at that committee. Then we'll look at her, we'll finalize the conversation on her, we'll adopt her, we'll hand her over to the Attorney General, Minister of Justice. It will carry on a cabinet review, and after that, it will use her for beginning work on providing a law in amending the constitution. I mean, for putting into our which electoral system from now onwards will use will be full. In the course of that, a lot of issues stand very strongly. The issues of inclusivity, cost effectiveness of elections, cooperation of political parties, violence issues, elections, openness, transparency, and accountability, etc. So a lot of core issues I want out of the conversation across. And we look there. If we're able to tell you, see, Sierra Leoneans look at a different perspective. I mean, in the course of accountability, one of the things Sierra Leoneans speak about now the threshold of the 2023 elections will use 11.9 or 8%. The fixed a high threshold, and a threshold is supposed to be looked at. I mean, in the next set of elections, if that way the process is. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Agorokata, for a brief update on what we don't do. And the reason why we bring these things to the people, now for let me all see how committed as an administration we are to the thing that we don't sign up to. The recommendation, chapter 2 recommendation 78 talk about engaging. Let we engage on which type of electoral system we want as a country going forward. It will require a nationwide consultation for let we go around, let everybody get a say. And any position where somebody take, not means say that position now they go into. Now you young, what you view. Collectively, they look at all these views, locally, internationally, with experts, taking a lot of things into consideration and agree that as a nation, because of X, Y, Z, this line best fits for we. And it will add back the things in where perhaps we go inside the constitutional review. Because everything will agree when you want to change the constitution, you require a referendum. Meaning, if all these things do, they require the majority of public participation. Because
Not all, sir.
No, I know. The one we agree on finally, they will go as a recommendation. We are saying here, I'll get with you. You will get with you. But we put all this together and get one better one. And recommendations begin come about how the next electoral system go protect the interests of the women based on the June Act. We don't say now 20% where we say the limits, the lower limits, the influence is 30%. 30% don't mean say that the limit that the woman and for past 30%. The last point standing everything we do in advocacy in an organization, one at the same money, 30% of the other money for human anything. So how this going to factor into the next electoral system? For this, we can see from the word of Parliament, Honorable Member Zobo, Secretary, on these systems, which were in fancy, will increase female representation by the word of God.
Thank you very much, Minister. We as women in this country, and I speak on behalf of women in this context, we like pass mark for make the government get this commitment through for ensure say we get space na the political environment. As we all know, all over the world, the woman representation, political representation, I mean, a far lower than the man all over the world. I think say recently, globally, woman representation in parliaments all over the world are about 25%. Now, globally, we go past the mandate. So if we go past the mandate, then we voice set for Boku that every sphere of society. We don't try in a house domestically. We don't try by the economy, by development. But politically, we still the low as mark. So we own electoral system in Salon. Currently, the proportional representation system we use recently, they don't favor woman political representation in parliament. They don't favor woman political representation governance systems. And we want it to continue. We even want make better regulations in A. We will improve on what we don't do so far. That first past the post system, we be they used before. Where some country they call themselves how they call themselves now man business actually, now patriarchal system. That means now man they dominate that system, the first they all get. That first past post. You will win. Now you dominate the constituency. And mostly, who that they win a man. Because man they get more financial trick. Any side you go that they go in the world, you get more financial trick. Pass woman there. And we know say politics na money. Let's say na money. You must have it talk say, but if you don't spend money, it could track up. And we the woman them, plenty of we the woman them, will not get that trickery. So that first past the post, if you not compete, say you therefore be a strong woman for let you survive. So when the party will win, then send people that go to parliament, occupy system. When you look at that parliament, say, now man then will dominate them. So in the wisdom of His Excellency in this country, the government, and decide say, when we get the system. And when we get gender laws then, when we get political anti-law, then we get public elections act, we will help we for make we get more money. So, and normally the PR system, proportional representation system, now it no more they encourage gender quota legislation. The first past the post, it not they encourage gender legislation. And then you get any kind of regulation. If we don't go for go vote, they don't vote that man, they don't get majority in any kind of parliament. So now law no more. Now it will help or back up the PR system for bring money or for bring or for back up any electoral system. So in we case alone, the gender issue them, the gender thing the way they put inside the law them, the political parties registration law when they talk about 30% quota for women, the Public Elections Act, the when they talk about the nomination of women at the most women for the Gender Equality and Women's Empowerment Act. where he said, say, 30% of them women, who una the same, una the party, APCO, SLPPO, whoever, una make sure, say, now women occupy that 30%. So you actually they talk about reserved seats for women and a gender quota. So the PR system, now no more, they encourage this. So we as women, we feel say that the PR system legally now will make more women than can in parliament rather than that first step, first fast and post. Because that one day the competition is too high for we. And I know say critics say they. We get people that when they criticize the PR system and the gender quota based on issues of discrimination. They say the gender quota legislation and the PR system they discriminate men. But from the background where I give, any side you go, the parliaments are dominated by men, except recently. For example, Rwanda gets 60% or more of women. Cuba, this side they get you go Finland, you get a lot of women in parliament. You know. So we get decided when we get more women in parliament, plus man safe. But in very few cases all over the world. And when they see say we are all equal. If we fight for equality, then we get for ensure say women and us very intentional action the government get for take for make ensure say women they will get seats in parliament and also participate in governance. So the critics then when they talk about discrimination, therefore reflect on the fact say for long from where Adam become a youth, woman them not be they occupy political spaces then as much as man them. So if now the opportunity don't arise, and we see say woman them they play equal role, man them, then we therefore accept the PR system. They favor democracy, and they favor development, and they favor empowerment. We also get criticisms around the hierarchy. Some people then who go parliament when are based on the gender quotas they did because some of we women they vote for me and we win. So not so even the gender quota. But some people they not win outrightly, but because of the gender quota in legislation, they can parliament. So you get this issue of me, they vote for me, this person, they don't even vote for her, they just can't bring them in parliament. So we get the issue of hierarchy, where people may be criticized. But still, that intentional effort through the legislation, where the governments they take, it boosts the gender gap. Women need like 12 to 13% of women in the parliament of Sierra Leone. And suddenly, as we get the regulation then, the law then, immediately we get 30.4%. Actually, na 28.2% elected women in the parliament. But where we get one woman in a paramountship, we add to the number, and all the paramountships will put them together and get 30.4% of women in the parliament. And that's still a boost because of the PR system. If we don't get that kind of good practice, we not feel say as a government will go through it again. Because like a minimum of 30%, as Minister Bini said. In some countries then, you actually get legislation where they say minimum 40%, for example, and maximum 60%.
Okay.
It is stated clearly. So we actually want to make government look the legislation again and the regulations then. Because we not go just for minimum, we want for maximum for both gender. Because we also know one for discriminate.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We continue the conversation. Honorable member of Parliament, they give an opinion on wetin go increase gender participation in the Parliament with respect to the two electoral systems. And according to him, because of the PR we used in 2020, there are more gender, there are more female participation in Parliament, up to 30 something percent, put everything together, as compared to 12% will be used the first past the post. And if we don't test, we don't see this don't improve gender participation, and we do a lot of regulations for improve women participation. We not fall back, we for continue for do the things that we will make we go before. So to aim first past the post, we will do am. Now the PR system gets affirmative actions for increase their representation. So it will go and thank you very much for member of parliament for that. I'm answering the issue about the redistricting. Before now, we get filter, we get Kaina district, we get Kwanadu district, we get Runeta, we get Bandajuma, and Alma district. That's only which one that we get. See, filter, Kaina, Kwanadu, Runeta, Bandajuma, Alma. Later, we can get but Mayamba, more but Mayamba Bujem. Kemi Makanda Mikono, Mumbali, Kambia, or Moko. All these things with time, it is see, it is go. Then towards the former president and his Roma, when this thing don't go down, kind it comes back, then it adds Falaba as six. These are all, reasons administrative control, able administer well, bring people together. So we now have the minister for telling when you say you read districts or divide communities into clusters, what is the benefit for what? Why has it been happening like the status or waiting at the benefit of the country? Honorable, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Minister, and good afternoon to family and salon. Always pleasure for the year. For that we can talk to now waiting on the country, or more particularly for your ministry. Today, I dare for that talk about government in proposal for establish new localities and also new councils in the country. I feel say I will not make this pronouncement some time ago. This will not go through cabinet. Cabinet give me the authority for let me engage. I want for long to be mindful of the word what they use for let me engage. Which is the doctrine of local governance. Current form of local governance will get na 2004 I will start. When they enact 2004 Local Government Act, we make 21 years now we practice this current form of local governance. And all that in the day, it can be backed by law. Parliament will look at the law You know, the Constitution, 1991 Constitution, it just talks say for devolved functions. But the backup law in 2004, now we get 2022, refreshed Local Government Act, where just immediately after the preliminaries inside the Act, the second way the Act talked about the establishment of localities and local councils. Section 2 of that Act, Part 2, it gives the president, any president at any time, the authority following Minister of Local Government, Minister of Finance, and also the Commissioner Electoral Commission, so when an advisor by statute for declare any site inside the country a locality. And not to that no more, the law gives the power as well for letting assign name to that locality there, and also for establishing council and the composition of that council there as well, for let the president determine that. And whose side that council there is your place today, what you call the headquarters. The president will determine that day, and the amount of people that will populate that council day, and various other matters. So the law it gives excellency that authority. But also section 3, they also ask the Minister of Local Government and also the Minister of Finance and also Commissioner ECSL, before that they advise the president, let them take consideration of every sort of issue. One, population, and how dense that population is for the area. The geographical connection, when you want to make boundaries for localities, learn, make one district jump inside the other one before you get to the other one. We call it geographical contiguity. The other one, topography. Like when you see inside Victoria and various other areas inside Western Rural District, you look at the topography, it's really sometimes difficult for access and various other things you know for that. The other consideration where the ministers that will make about population growth and visual expression of the area. The lawmakers, the police as very strategic thing. Now because the no same country they grow from time to time. The population they increase. And the place they become bigger and more difficult and complex for management. The tell me they grow up, the population of Salon about 2.something million. How will they grow now? They're close to 7 million. That's all you get to consider. So you use the statistics and therefore determine why make government you always consider that here, like how the minister has. You consider that because the major thing for councils or for districts, now the distribution of resources will be distributed equitably. Depending on the amount of population within for let everybody get access also to services that the area they need. If you consider the districting or the creation of localities, you can remember about various amenities, schools, hospitals, a lot of things that we look inside where various districts. If I want honorable describe what they owe, say just by let's say the Mamiga picking them, They put the rest on one buff. He put glass pan and he said, let the guy eat. When he asked let the guy eat, the one that the strongest guy will eat more. And I can decide for separate areas they put inside different portions. Then you realize that everybody is satisfied in one way or another. So when we talk about redistricting, the government don't consider through the advice of the ministry. For create 2 more districts. Now we get 16. I remember the brother said 14. But we get 16. 16. Now, because of the population growth and the need for service delivery in an area, we don't consider necessary for law operate a primary magistrate. We will come out of Kenema district and Kailam district. Also, additionally, forget Adajuba. We will come also through Kenema to district job. So 2 more districts, but also additionally, in where we fit on there now, with only one local council, they manage the whole of Freetown, we believe it's not to start with evil. Freetown forget more councils, administrative councils, or look after Freetown than only one local council. Now that made the proposition is that let we add one more council to Freetown City Council, and also Western Council, let them know what kind of see the city and the geography of that area there. For so they'll add 2 more councils to the area. I think the advantages I don't tell me. Resources, the role of council, one of the critical role of council. Now, for let them mobilize local revenue. Government they give them the functions for let them for mobilize them. But what they find currently, we not get the maximum mobilization of revenue by only these 2 single councils. If you get a small portion of locality where you manage, the focus will be more, and you will raise more revenue in that place than only one single council. What you don't know, if you all have capital city friendly, we get more locals. If you go Kampala, you get 5 local councils. You go to London, what they call London, you get about 12 to 14 areas with the local councils inside the city of London. If you go to Abuja, you get about 6. So, different capital cities that they think about waiting to make the administration better, especially for delivery services in other localities. We, as a ministry, after cabinet don't do the commission, we don't move now all the regions for engage people them for inform them. The one thing really important is that the law not really asks for consultation. The law gives presidential powers for create new localities. The president new wisdom. And because now also we want to include different shades of voices to change the way we have. I make His Excellency say, let me go and engage. And we not depend on now, like the 2 months so depend on. Now within the western area, we engage in Freetown area, western north, and also we will engage now western rural district. So the metro gets sent to western rural district, and since the tomorrow meeting they will take place. So family, this now for we all. This about urban planning, about engaging and for make sure so we manage localities. In 27 we talk about. If you get a council where they closer to you, you will not say you will participate in the way make sure say they listen to you more, and for bring the laws that will serve you more, and for let you get access to various amenities and other localities. It's important to this government and also to us because we really say we plan for the future. I want to say, government na continuity. When you talk about continuity, one government can, the other one can, they just two. On all the issues the way they did, the one way the other one not do, they decide to go one or two. And because of that, say, previous government, the coming brothers say now, we don't establish new districts. And not the reason that they even self-free for great municipalities. In 2012, His Excellency the President, under paragraph 88 to implement, he pronounced and said important for them to create new councils then inside Freetown and Western District. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I don't say the message don't go. Because when you watch man your face, audience, I really see say people we are expecting million. We expect this kind of talk. One takeaway is one, for divide into communities, the act give the president the power. In order for consult, the law give the president power for let it divide communities. And why they do one? Now for administrative efficiency. For make sure say service delivery reach everybody. I will challenge you. There are people in this freezer we not even know who side is freezer sticker today. Or me yourself will ever pass. But we are still part of freezer. But when we cluster ourselves and get that make even government will be appoint a man now for administrative efficiency. Then you get somebody when they're very close to the people, know their issues, or not be a man and then announce themselves. Or not to be the government in interest and they say, oh, make me a man, I forgot no. Now for them represent governance, groups of people, grassroots engagement, beyond method, people then they exhaust all what they get for exhaust. Then the people can ask for them. Next of waiting they ask you, like I, what's in there for asking. So now we dey turn the mic. What if you get luck? What you let me they not ask you, you go with her. If they can't ask you what you not talk, they explain you. So at this point, no what they express. Now the house we are as the best. The former principal of Islamic Seminary in Kenya. So I know what the duty might want. Yeah, the duty like so it's well. Come back to so you make the house right in the garage. In here, the speaker for let's suppose we're not shit on it free. Right. Before that, as the every time we are getting everybody. But I don't like being a retired teacher. I just want to add small thing to within the honorable thing. One of the disadvantage of the African system. When we experience those days, the violence and intimidation in the make which woman and the afraid. In our country, we need people that are young. We get out for camp, they come meeting and what after the woman. They're looking about say they want educated woman for represent. Afraid. No, not they do. Not afraid to be afraid politics. Not so because well one with money more and they not get what funding and that violence. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. My question goes to the coordinator, but to advertise. The recommendations thing, apart from recommendation 78, there are other recommendations. I want to ask the coordinator, the rest of the recommendation, whether if they don't take up on board, and particularly the PR system, who want not talk about it, because the PR system will able to include person with disability. There is no person with disability in the parliament. So I want to ask the coordinator how far they will work with ECSL so that person with disability will be. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Mina Jafferman Davis from Radio Democracy to the Minister of Local Government. Of recent times, we don't see inside the local council then flabbergasting day between the chief administrator or the mayor or the council. I want to know one, if government concerned with them differentiate and how they act on a regular basis. Then start to tell me what are the criteria they can make when I change and see them from different side them instead of when I bring new one that we can come with new ideas.
I'm a vice chair. There is of care types. This question is also all numbers betting because see what it ask about on the whole church, with the exception of the Minister of Local Government. Section 78. When you talk about women participation in parliament. At the same time, when I talk about the issue of what happened just after 2023 elections, we caused a lot of rifts in the country. The issue of first past the post, PR system, we I believe say majority of self-maya takes the label for describe the PR system, the percentage attribute. A member of parliament elected parliament, like the honorable of parliament say. Somebody in a parliament so you know elect. Critical issues that they come at. Is that we must talk about this PR system, considering all percentage of outside London get peace. We are still to apply the PR system in 2028. Hereby, when they use PR system, will also disadvantage other political parties. Like Mr. Gillen said, the first part the most political parties in the parliament, including the sectors. While this PR system will not get no other political parties. Not to disadvantage when it comes to other political parties. At the same time, when I use this PR system, we're not rich country. Thank you very much.
Once, whenever stop information, university, I have been to you along with two short questions. Honorable Minister of Local Government, you can recall at my in July 2025, 2025, when you addressed the question of Peruba chief dogs, you say government gets an intention for add 6 more chief dogs in this country. And one of them will be Peruba chief dog. Peruba chief dog in August 2006, the Supreme Court of the Republic of Sierra Leone declared saying one ethnic group get the monopoly to rule because The order in class don't ever belong to a ruling house. The law and Supreme Court. Now, if you say in a small children of serve 9 sections, you will be considered for the final children because of, remember, civic disobedience. I was there. Mr. Minister, the question is, if you just release that 7 prisoners were protested post-election era, to civic movements, you go on tell me, say, the government of the Bible said, God not able to do anything where was wicked progress and then respect to the Supreme Court constitution. I beg you, sir, Madam, honorable member. Now, we are in the 21st century. I remember answering this Elizabeth Labani. He said, Mohammed, she knows me. If I get power, and I advocate for the teaching abolition of the discussion of quota system of women. 1, it causes mental age. 2, it causes liability. 3, anywhere you look at this, it's ungodly. 4, mathematically we are all the same. Like the UK where I've been to and I've been to. You know, why can't we abolish this quota system and leave women for our women? Why should we discriminate them when the end of us? Okay. All shades of opinion is correct. Yeah. Yeah. That's 90 English to democracy. Quick one. I want to tell the former principal of Islamic Secondary School, let's take it for Ankone, or so we collapse. This not just in your opinion. This don't chase away vibrant women politics, intimidation, yeah, political violence, and some man the user the political capital. Say that left and right one. So woman even when you show up when you cause an electric and people use it. And to the national dialogue, I think we say it is a national dialogue. These two systems interchangeably we don't use them. And when a civil society organization they make presentation, they talk one thing. One, they go with PR, but they modify PR. What is the modification? One, is the list. All the people who are on the list, the parties are not for all to themselves. Let them open the list, people know whether they choose to drop down the quota. Drop down the quota so that we get more parties now. Arguments. Why people not be able to win assignment, this PR will be used, just like we the coordinator said, the 11,000 quota be very high for some small parties. So the recommendation from a civil society organization was drop this quota. 3 was when the party don't win, when it deploy parliamentarians, let it deploy them by constituency. Let it give them constituency responsibility. So everybody in a small area know whether if we reach out to them for any problem. But these are consultations, these are dialogue. And not to problem make we use PR system, it is mandated in the constitution, we don't use that. But waiting to the very key, that's scenario, for which they want to use a hybrid form of electoral system. One, recently, the honorable member of parliament for SNP in Kenya died. Considering the current political tension, if we do not go to Kenya for do any election, at least if I want the interruption of even business activities for our Kenya, at least the for all ones. But they don't change that current member of parliament. Recently, there is a council secretary who died. ECSL don't replace them.
Nobody will know. So a lot of people when they look at this PR system, that money will for us spend after election, that confusion will for us happen in our country, and then they look at. We are not intending for any other thing, because anybody can do it. But we are saying, now we get electoral system, where they reduce violence, where they get national inclusion. So people say, like the paramount chief, that because not to people they vote for their representations, they know, I mean, somebody put in a panel, they don't even care. We don't also see on our first past peoples, somebody put in an area, a teacher, very popular, in a law team, very close to election, somebody come up overseas, they count the dollar, almighty dollar. Who's how you be the talk, then they clap for you. We're gonna say, promoting one way for you, but to that man first. That's your symbol. Then it's a symbol to people where it says it also. So on either side, the tendency for them to get somebody when you might be used to today, right? You can bring the two systems together and get a way out so that no confusion, you don't need to attack me. And on the issue of saying we protect women and this and that, I mean, even Islam, they say that if you get four things for the either your mama, they say divide and give your mama three, your papa one. So in fact, in Islam, they protect the woman more. So it is not on Islamic. So on these issues, everybody they take any question. So we look at where are we on the implementation of the order recommendations of the tripartite. That's why
we don't carry out extensively that process, and over 77% of the recommendations almost don't they go through. If you want this against until we go show what's going to happen. If green will tell you say we don't complete now, the yellow will tell you say it's still ongoing, and the red will tell you say we're not started another legislation. And these are the 79 recommendations. At the end of the day, it means really a lot of them don't reach completion, but they still need to go through a set of consultations again, so that various actors around that process they review and again enrich their thoughts. In the course of this process, there are two ways. There's a set of recommendations will link up to the constitutional review process, and the other one that they will now are just legislative reviews. So I would say most of the legislative reviews are almost all London, with almost all the institutions, Electoral Commission, Political Party Registration Commission, Office of National Security, Independent Police Complainants Board, Independent Media Commission, Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation, Minister of Justice and Civil General's Office, the National Civil Registration Authority, and Human Rights Commission. So all the institutions there, we don't systematically engage them, follow through that process. We don't even now move to the website. We don't begin to call interagency forum. We say monthly, the end of every month, we all come together and we sit on one side, we talk about issues that so that we for real time see what's in happen and how would they address them. So like what I say, most of one day go end up for go through parliament. Once they don't done, stand committee don't look am, they don't pass am to the general, they don't go cabinet don't approve am. Most of them will go through parliament for a two-tour ratification because not of entrenched clauses. And the other call now we go left, then we go actually get to go through processes again, then we go referendum. So that's so this process here. But like what I say, a call of them they talk about supporting vulnerable groups into participation. So not to support it no more. Many other side that they will sign the recommendations they speak about this.
Thank you very much. The Minister of
Thank you very much. Again, an officer will get enough time for that to know. All team. Um, the viewer question. Viewer, what thing I've been saying now is that His Excellency gets the powers for create new localities, name them, so. And during this time, in fact, with our local governments, we call this a bumper implementation program. Because there's so many things that we did. We get the amalgamation of chiefdoms. So then the amalgamation, then chiefdoms, the way that we don't put together, they don't affect, they want to separate themselves. Here what happened for Kanye because of the situation. We don't have it's untenable. We don't get lots of debts. We don't get damage of properties, and so forth. So government giving the go ahead for what we look at a big meeting at Makeni. And that meeting there, it enabled we for that we listen to all the parties, for that we understand what we do. And we will now give recommendation to His Excellency the President. Now, the other aspect about future city council and councils in general and the disquiet waking in at the councils as a result of transfers. The question was whether we concerned. Of course, they are concerned as a ministry. Because we expect for run professional councils so that councils that will serve their functions with the support of the ministries and all the other agencies and the MDAs. We get a situation every time when there is a transfer, either councillors or maybe chairpersons or mayors, then they become irate as a result of that. The Act, it provides for the establishment of a commission, what they call the Local Government Service Commission. That commission deals with issues relating to transfers. They don't go on their own. They involve Public Service Commission. They include the ministry, usually when the permanent secretary of the ministry that will be represented. Then also HRMO. They all will be represented for let them decide what to happen. We all know that for them we support councils and we plant then kind together inside councils. Let's finally inside the act. When they talk say that council a rule for rejecting people the way they can for cow, where they don't transfer for going to council. We don't see that they don't increase, but we don't do that. I went to Freetown City Council last week. I go get engagement on the issues there. And clearly, what we know with the support councils, foreign councils, they thrive. When I say very difficult if you don't work with one person for 4 or 5 years. But the law says, the act guideline, the HR guideline, they say at least 2 years. After that, you're available for transfers. It is now good governance system for letting you monitor the area for see whether certain things that they go on the council will make somebody not transfer. For nobody not in the council will permanent in one position. You always have to always try for people will move you from one council to the other. So we're not glad, but we deal with the situation. Thank you. I think the question I don't take what are them?
Um, Even though the minister don't address the question, the PRC, we feel say it really get a huge advantage in terms of representation of women all over the country, for example. Before this time, now only few districts they be able for sending man. Yeah. So I don't think say any well-meaning man in this country go one for see a country where na only few districts woman voice in our parliament. For the PR system, every district gets a representative, at least a woman, except at least a few. But majority gets woman voice because na a must. And sanctions in it. Now, we say there has to be legal instruments for backup the PR system. And also the issue about where Minister mentioned about people then sort of the accountability to the geographical space where they promote or the constituency as against the party or the government. In the first past, the past post system, the posting mostly from studies with the do a more accountable so in people then, and not so in people they don't want in constituency, no more in the serve. When you can have parliament, na the nation, na in the serve. In the PR system, when we gain a parliament so, we not only accountable to people, we are accountable to district and to the nation because Sierra Leone is one constituency under the PR system.
Thank you very much. You can specify the issue. I'm chairman of this. Yeah. Thank you very much. Just 2 questions and we're on. Welcome. Are you still? One, two. Bonus. And three.
John Kelly Mara, Daybreak newspaper editor and standard. So that means that we are going to ask 2 questions. Short. Okay. My minister is going. My question is going there. Minister of Local Government. Mr. Minister, according to the Local Government Act, 2004, it stated that the central government is to allocate a proportion of national revenue to local councils each year, determined by Parliament to form local council devolved service. Mr. Minister, according to BAM, Budget Advocacy Network, in the reports, it has taken years without local council receiving funds to sustain their sustainability. Also, talking about why
The man somewhere like money.
so it's minister. You're saying no for the district in Sierra Leone. How you will district Sierra Leone without local council receiving their funds? Up to now, was 11. Don't receive their funds yet. What do you do towards that? Thank you.
He said, I can with
Yes, and I made said to do where that's your exclusive. Mr. Minister, the 2015 census say Kenema districts populated as vital and again social amenities as vital. Why would I not go divide Kenema and so we get 615,000 people. Kenema we get 715,000 people. Why would we not Kenema state vital? Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Minister of Legal. This question will go to you. back then during the APC government, the APC migrated to the states when I carried the follower. And now this present government want to create another district. The district where APC be create during their own government, then they find out challenging and difficult because a lot of facility and amenities not there. So what this government don put in place for the new district to respect place? Is it mean that's for political gain or wetin?
Thank you very much. First question, please. How much do we say they not invite Kenya? Me, my greatest challenge is now take the cost Kenya. Then take Kenya, then Arab Kaila for creating institutions. Then take Kenya, Arab Abuja, and go for creating these things. You are very unfair with Kenya. How am I going to divide with Kenya? Please. Kenima is going to Kaila, to Kenima. The teaching Kenima is going to Puja and Boy. You know what when they divide Kenima back? It's the brother, if you actually be listening and you follow without you don't come with precursing ideas. Please, if you don't understand, say, I make it clear. I say we restrictive. Don't restrict them. If you talk about divide and another divide them. Don't treat Kenema, the geese of chiefdoms, John, the geese of chiefdoms, Paul, the geese of chiefdoms, Colette Grits, then Banajuma, and also Panguima. What's the happen is that not to divide. Because it's normal. It's crime. They still call us city of Accra. But you get different councils the way they inside Accra, where they operate. You don't need to give one council. Because the whole thing is when people that they go there and go and for. No. This government no want to be bilingual inside Freetown. We want to make sure say Freetown is more supported, the people of Freetown more supported through service delivery and allocation of resources, participation and all that. So if you create two councils, Freetown still is Freetown. In fact, Western Urban will still remain Western Urban, but there are two councils that did it. For local district, they call it local. They got local district, they got local city council, two councils. Kono, you got two councils. Kono district council, when you do segment council, you go Kenema, you go say. So in fact, all along, what you will be not recognized is that Freetown is left to follow. And when I say that, it's because people that don't have from can really make Freetown more okay for the people of Freetown. And that's Ministry of Support, Ministry of Finance don't support, and His Excellency will do all that. At the end of the day, he can report to cabinet again. Then by proclamation, we're going to be doing the parliament. These new localities will be created. What are the difficulties for creating new council? I don't see how. It's just the help we all. Well, Kenema, sorry for that, but the other question is say whether the political gains or the challenges the way down there. I want for let you compare outside Falabandi literally and outside Falabandi now. Please try for travel. I go want
For let you see Kamakwede now, and we start Kamakwede the trying. When you begin to see that, then I make people talk say, planning that you went into. Because I want you to do so, not to do they come to future right now. Now preparation of paper. We plan for the future. From here you say. And for the beginner when they come to mind, if you want to go out on a beginner that are going to engage about this theology. So when you plan, no say, then areas here, you know, the child that they decide for establish Abuja. When they go, I mean, this secondary school that's in here. This is about level 3. Or one say, resources are not there. You know, go better. Left hand and Lagos, where the money, where you go Abuja, they pass holy months. Then we learn for think big and for do things better. Forms, involve forms. I want to actually say the local councils during this period don't very secret. The question is not quite correct. Well, the question not quite correct. So all these years, government will support local councils. That's not true. Government year on year only support local councils in various ways. We told the draft for top board in the first place. Now government they pay mayor then. Now government they pay chairman then. Now government they give councillors then the city fees. Now government they make council meetings and the whole council meetings and and also all the core staff, chief core staff then. Now government they pay. But also additionally they get involved functions the way they therefore carry out. No one in the government will transfer money. The money can delay. We don't say this to easy economic times. As a result of mandate priorities are established. But I want to tell you, say, one thing bad right to say they don't ever don't send money that they and don't to Ministry of Finance. Their money that they don't transfer them and just say they don't.
Gentlemen, the reason why we can, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why we can count on now, for now and again, is reliable, timely information so that whatever you get in mind, you get the constitutional for look at the or two. You still have the right to go with what's below in mind or you take the correct information. Like where minister said, they said, if you want to travel, my person don't use the mamas and people so they don't travel in most people happens. Not really a problem. Because in creating these communities, it not means when the previous administration creates Faraba, means neither. If you go Faraba, SLPP get members of parliament, SLPP get council, they not SLPP create Faraba, it gets the council. It not means that when SLPP creates Pamwa or Mandajima, neither for control everything. And that is why we want a political system will not limit somebody by region. Because if you know, say, you go for letting able to count on it, we will integrate. You know, to choose by region or by tribe. We want an inclusive Sierra Leone. Yeah? About councils, the what do I say? The way we don't treat that. For instance, treat the bus, school buses. If you give anyone 4 bus, you give Richard City Council 5 bus. You will say, okay, we're not give Richard more bus, even if you give them 6. But let us say Richard get 2 councils. You give anyone 5, you give this Richard City Council 5, you give the other council 5. Richard community don't get 10. I think it could deliver more service to the people. These are things we need to consider. Rather than just looking at the political game. Now we left politics to politicians. We were students, we are journalists. Maybe that's what we platform and journalists. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for the audience. for the time and keys to this program. We touch on that, not when on this session. So let's thank you until we meet again. We are all carrying up the as well, the everything of information, communication. Thank you.